Hiya, darlings. This is hololive English-Advent, Devilish, Diva, the one and only Nerissa Ravencroft. Let me actually reposition myself a bit. One sec. I'm gonna look really funny. That's just how it is. Hello, jailbirds. How are we doing today? Hopefully all is well in the land of Oz. Oh my gosh, why do I look like that? Oh, so one thing I wanted to mention, because I think it's funny, and I don't know if anyone notices but me, but the model with the ENReco cape is the old rig where I'm really, really aggressive even if I'm barely moving. So it's been a fun week. It's been a really fun week. She's crazy. She's crazy. Has your cough stopped? Yeah, I haven't really coughed yet today. I might still cough a little bit now that I'm talking, but today has already been a day, and I just woke up an hour ago. I actually woke up at 7 a.m., but I was like, no, absolutely not. And I went back to bed, and then I woke up right around the time I wanted to. Let me turn on BGM. I feel like it'd be better if we had the other... Wait, let me go to the other room. One sec. I gotta check it. Yeah, I realized I was like, wait, I didn't set up anything. So... I was like, what? I'm not just going on to a like stream room like usual for ENReco where I'm playing a game. I have to make sure that my scenes are set up. It's been a while since we've been in the office. Also, Sen Wayne, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. This song is really short. I'm glad that you could watch me again on your birthday. You've got lucky. You're super lucky. But I wanted to it's just a casual chat. I don't have anything specific planned. So we're just gonna talk about ENReco. Whatever comes to mind. I do want to say I'm not going to share what it was because it's not it is my business, but it's not my business to share. I got some pretty bad news this morning. So I'm kind of, if I seem a little bit out of it, that's why. But the world stops for no one. We must persevere. So, I wanted to talk about ENReco. ENReco! My love for ENReco knows no bounds. My love for ENReco knows no bounds. I was so excited, as you guys could see from the loading screen and the ending screen. Loading screen done by Pachi and ending screen done by Elizbian, and then both of them animated by Jusagi, and the fire in the first one animated by Setter. Thank you guys so much. You have made my season 3 ENReco so special. I really wanted my own ENReco related loading screens. I probably won't have an opportunity to use them again, so this will probably be the last stream. But there's nothing stopping me. But I guess I'll talk about those first. So, Pachi is a very incredible artist, and especially whenever ENReco comes around, is just always drawing the most breathtaking illustrations. So I'm always like eagerly waiting for her to draw the next the next ENReco illustration, or like just her next illustration in general. I love following it. So I was like, okay, I know I need to commission Pachi. I need to commission Pachi no matter what, or I will cry, I will die. So of course I put in all the requests, I contacted, and I gave all the art concept. And at first I was only gonna get a loading screen, but then I was thinking, and I was like, you know who else I really want to get a loading screen from? Really, 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 really bad. I was like, Lesbian. they are also always cooking just the most, again, incredibly dynamic and just fun in like a torturous way to your soul illustrations. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, incredible. Just absolutely blows my mind the stuff that they're able to cook up in their brains. I was like, I gotta get something. It's ENReco. I gotta get something from the ENReco goats. The ENReco goats. So, yeah, I commissioned them both. I was really, really happy that both of them said yes, because I did not have a backup plan for if they were like, no, sorry, I'm busy. So I'm so grateful to them. And then I gave them my concepts. So at first I was gonna have them both be not the same illustration, but like kind of similar to the first one, where it included a lot of characters. As you know from the opening screen, it features not just Nerissa, but then it features Lady Bloodflame, Shiori of the novella, or Sister Shiori this season. Then little cameos from Bijou Fuomoko and Fuomoko. So, I decided, I was like, wait, the end screen should at least just be Nerissa. So I want to show more of that dichotomy of which Nerissa versus NJ, which is, you know, not New Jersey. I do always think of that too, though, funnily enough. Every single time there's the freaking... it's whatever. Anyway. So my mind's a little scattered, so don't mind me. Every time I see NJ, I'm like, wow, New Jersey. But they're talking about me. They're not talking about New Jersey. Let me... Oh my gosh. It's so big. Hello? Let me get them on screen. You deserve to see these. The amount of work and effort put into them was just insane. And again, the result was just chef's kiss. They killed it. I am so overwhelmingly pleased with them. Look at her. Look at her. That's me. Well, it's not. It's Witch Nerissa, but look, the hat coming off was low-key foreshadowing, and you can see Shiori right here has Bijou and Fuomoko, if you missed that. Oh, where'd it go? Then you can see here it's of better times. It's of ENReco season 1, showing that connection that Liz, or rather Lady Bloodflame and NJ had. And then Lady Bloodflame pondering the ring, and then we are showing the dichotomy here of the witch who... Oh, why does it keep disappearing? Who's kind of holding all of the power. Literally has Lady Bloodflame's flame in her hand, wrapped around her fingertips. And then we have NJ, who's, you know, the regular NJ, who's conflicted with all that is happening, but she's held back by some other unseen force that looks like roses. And then we have the Lady Bloodflame in the mirror and her shattered reflection. It's just so beautiful. I love literally everything about this illustration. It goes crazy style. Oh, you know what? I know why they're disappearing. I don't have them on a loop. I'm like, where do my illustrations keep going? And let's do, this one is a bit nice because it actually already has close-ups for you, because I was like, the illustration's so good, we gotta focus on everything. So we did. The Arcana cards, actually, they all represent different members of hololive. And it's my own headcanon. Let me see if I can find it again. Where did I put it? I didn't prepare anything, so I'm gonna have to look. My apologies in advance. Let's see. Okay, wait, it should probably, no. Okay, probably around here. Let me see. Okay, so, the magician, these are the prompts for the cards that I gave to, Ellie, and they are: the magician is Koseki Bijou, the empress is Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame, the hermit being Shiori Novella, the devil being Nerissa Ravencroft, the star Mokoko Abyssguard, and the moon Fuwawa Abyssguard. And then I also said, I was like, if you want, judgment could also be Lady Bloodflame. But so those were the representations of all of the cards. I don't know if she included all of them, actually. I think just some of them, as you can see them spinning. The other Advent members. So, but those were the prompts. Yeah, we have the magician, the hermit. You only see 4, yeah. So they're the Advent members. Very Homura-ish vibes. It is very Homura-ish vibes. It's beautiful. I just love all the imagery. Is it based on vibes? I mean, it's based on again the dichotomy of the witch as well as Nerissa Juliet. So as you can see, Nerissa Juliet, one beautiful detail that I interpret is there's the red spider lilies near her, which are representative of death. And they kind of mirror the red of the hat on the witch, but they don't themselves represent, or rather, they're not representing at all the witch's death, but rather Nerissa Juliet's ego death in season 2 that I know everyone really liked. So it's such a good illustration. If you haven't already, please be sure to go follow both of them, everyone involved. Again, thank you, Elizbian. Thank you, Pachi. Thank you, Setter. Thank you, Jusagi, for the animations. You guys are all so amazing. I'm so happy, and I couldn't have asked for a better team to make my opening and ending screen for ENReco Season 3. So that was something I've been preparing for a long time. And I'm so glad I was able to share them with you all. So yes, thank you, artists. You guys cook. You guys cook so hard. So yeah, that was those. And then when it came to the actual thing, I've been thinking about it for a long time. And I think one of my problems with ENReco that I personally have is there's so much time between that you kind of, even if you really enjoy it, like you're inevitably going to forget a little bit of what was going on. So I had a little bit of a like, oh my god, I need to go back and I need to like rewatch. So I gave myself a bit of a refresher. I read the amazing resource, the ENReco archive, that is fan-made. Absolutely incredible fan work. If you guys have not read it and you're interested in catching up with anyone's ENReco perspective, please check out the ENReco archive. And yeah, I checked that out. It was amazing. And I was able to refresh my memory. But regardless, very, very, very well remembered where we left off. Because I was leading up intentionally to try and make Lady Bloodflame mine, or rather, Nerissa Juliet's. The witch, we shall call her. Was Liz changing appearance your idea or Liz's idea? Liz's idea. Me and her did, of course, talk quite a bit and like share like general like, hey, this is kind of a little bit of what I'm doing, so if you could play along, you know. But I was having such a hard time. I think if we had gone directly into season 2 to season 3, I would have been fine because I was really in character. But especially at the beginning of this season, I'll be completely honest, I was struggling. Oh, I was struggling because the thing is, I love ENReco so much, and I love Liz so much, and I was like, oh, I can't be mean to her. Oh, it's impossible. I don't want to force her to do anything. No, I can't. So I was really trying my best. And I was like, no, I need to lock in. I need to lock in. It's roleplay. I know it's roleplay, but it's still difficult. You guys saw me literally play the freaking Dark Urge route. It's over like 12 hours of Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm supposed to be like murdering everyone. And I still was. But I was also like, how do I save Karlach? Oh, I want to save Will. Oh my god, I don't want them to hate me. It doesn't matter if I'm role-playing, okay? I can't help it. I'm not built to be mean. I suffer. But so I was still doing my best, but like I also soften things a lot just when I talk. So I kept being like, if you want to do this, I want you to do this, but only if you want to. So I needed to lock in more and lose the if you want to and be like, do this. So I think by day 3 I got it and I was able to kind of lock into it. But it just took me a minute. It took me a minute. Yes, Lady Bloodflame, if you would just ever so kindly consider. But yeah, it was more of me wanting to make sure I had lots of money, make sure I was gaslight gatekeep girl bossing my Lady Bloodflame. And Liz, of course, just was absolutely phenomenal this season, as always. I don't know if you're following, but she was also doing this roleplay that just ended yesterday called Return to Blackwell. And I wasn't able to keep up with all of it as much as I would have liked to because I'm really busy. But I locked in for the finale, and oh my god, it was phenomenal. And I'm just like, well, Liz is so amazing. Liz is so amazing. It was so incredible to watch. So highly recommend if you guys enjoyed ENReco, if you enjoy RP and you want to see more of Liz just absolutely killing it. I like cried. It was so much. But anyways, back to ENReco. That's what we're here to talk about today, but slight side tangent. So Liz, of course, blew me away, and it's always so fun for me to act kind of opposite to her, where you know, when you're on a stage, right, that's how you refer to your kind of like co-star, or rather if you like, for example, are like a lead with someone and your characters interact a lot, you're kind of acting off of them a lot. And so it was really fun. It was a really good time. And it really brings out my way once I like lock in. It really brings out my inner theater kid and reminds me of doing theater and being on stage and just kind of being able to immerse myself. And that's not something I often get the experience to do, because I used to really, really love theater, and I'll be completely honest in saying that I don't have a lot of experience role-playing. I hope to change that. I'd like to do it more. It's so much fun, but I don't have a lot of experience with like ad-libbing, role-playing, or just doing God, what's the other word I'm looking for? I don't know. But so I very much, in general, yeah, improv, thank you. In general, it's always been like season 1, I don't know, I didn't expect it to be something that I ended up wanting to take really seriously, so I just kind of messed around. And then by season 2, I was like, wait, I really enjoyed that. I really want to do more, and I want to have more fun with it. So that's why I amnesia'd myself, was because I was like, I want to do more of that. I want to do more. I want to have fun. So I was like, I need to start over though, because I don't like where my character was going, so I need to kind of delete the character and start over. So I did, and but then it ended up, the amnesia ended up causing a part of the story, and I was like, okay, I can work with this. And then it just, oh my gosh, season 2 was so much fun, because it was kind of like the actual building of the character. So that was a good time. And then season 3 was kind of trying to come back to it and then be the villain that I was born to be. So it took a little bit, but I think by the end, I think I got it pretty well. If the brainwashing LBF isn't a thing for season 3, what alternative plan for your RP? Also, good job on ENReco. I mean, I didn't really have any specific plan per se. Like, obviously, I had like a little bit of an idea of certain things, but I didn't really like have a plan for anything. You know? So I was mostly acting a bit as a support to others. As you could see, I think I did that a bit in season 1 as well. I just really was like, I really want these plot points to resolve, so if anyone needs anything, I want to help them get it. So like Shiori, she was like, I need this stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna give it to you! I'm gonna give it to you! I'm gonna give you all the things you need. Tell me what you need. So I had a lot of fun being able to like help other people's storylines too, and we had all had like meetings too beforehand, and being like, okay, like, does anyone like want anything specific or like need any help this season? Does anyone need any advice? So it just makes me happy to help others, and especially I love my friends, so it was nice to be able to kind of help. And for Nerissa Juliet, I think one thing that's important to know about her character is she is completely self-interested. She was not actually interested in having one side win over the other, for example. The thing she was actually just interested in was herself. So if she thought something was fun in the moment, then she wanted to do it, you know? So that's why you saw her playing both sides a lot. Because she's like, I don't care. Single-handedly funded the entire kingdom. I know. But yeah, the only side she was on generally was her own side. So very, very selfish character. Very, very difficult for me to play because I just want to help everyone. Sorry, also, I'm having a little bit of a snack real quick. If you have specific questions, do feel free to ask them. And I guess yellow super chats and up, and then when I'm done talking and I run out of things to talk about, I will try to read through them. I will promise you I can't read through all of them, but I will try to read through them and pull out some interesting questions. So if you have any questions that you are curious about, feel free to ask them, and again, I will address them when I get to the end of the stream. In the super chats that are yellow and up. So, yes, and it was just really fun. I had a really good time doing that. We'll talk about the ending, but let's save that, okay? Why did NJ help Tam take off her hat? Because why not? I can't have her getting powerful wearing this stain thing that's manipulating her on her head. I don't want her to be powerful because of that. Okay? She can't gain power from that. I need her to remove it. She doesn't remember that she was Tamgander, that she was a queen, and she doesn't have any queenly power in this timeline because it's a different Liebestelle. So it doesn't matter. I need her to take it off. And as I said, if nothing, if anything, I like helping other people generally. So I was like, I need to help them. I need to help them. She still hasn't gotten that thing off of her head. I need to help. So, and then, you know, with Shiori, I mean, I love Shiori. You guys know that Shiori's my little Pookie. I feel like Shiori in every universe, it's like, ah, yeah, that's my bestie. That's my bestie right there. That's my ride or die. So of course, I mean, it's a bit difficult because my character's self-interested, so we're all in the witch coven. And me and Shiori are technically on the same side, but I am on no one's side but my own. But I also love Shiori, and I want to help Shiori, and I want us to also be on the same side too, because it's, I mean, I think Advent, we just like working together. You're apparently kicked out. I'm kicked from the coven. It's fine. I left willingly. But oh my god, I was so impressed. I mean, even last season it was similar, but I was so impressed with Shiori again this season. I feel like she's always just does such an incredible job being a bad guy. And that's something I really struggle with. But she just does like the craziest shit that I don't see coming. Like when she was like, I'm building something underground. Because at first she was like, I'm building a church, and I was like, okay, great. And then she's like, okay, now I'm building a thing underground and I need blocks. And I was like, okay, I'm here to help you get blocks. I can try to help you build it. But then she showed me the plan and I was like, I'm so sorry, I am not the one. But I will give you anything you need to get this. But she's just so incredible creating these little events to actually give us something to do. Because I think that's one of the places where ENReco is fun, but it also struggles a bit for me is let's all be honest, the main plot isn't that interesting. It's fine. It brings the story together, but like comparatively to things that we can build. So I feel like there's also always going to be the expectation shift of the main plot, which is always going to be the opening and the finale, is always just going to be that. The main plot that is the vehicle for the story to advance. But then the actual very, very interesting parts of the story are going to be the stuff that's unpredictable. And it's hard to factor that stuff, I think, into things like the ending, because how do you when you have to pre-make all of this stuff months and months and months in advance? You know, you can't really add in everything that was being prepped, you know? And because there is the kind of story to lead everything, but then another issue is there's no DM. So we can't really like we don't have anyone like leading us in any direction. And just because I saw some people addressing it, some people kept bringing up things like, oh, apparently there was a script. Oh, like I saw, sorry, not to address the ending a little bit, with the scripted game of tag, I saw some people being like, oh, apparently there was a script for if Advent won, so why didn't they read the script? Like, stuff like that. I will give you the 411 since everyone seems confused. There was a script. Both of them ended the exact same way, and both of them were 3 lines only. Both of them were something along the lines of, ah, you caught us, or haha, you can't catch me. And then, quick, do the purification! And then Advent gets purified. Both of them. So for people who kept addressing that and being like, why didn't you guys let Advent win? I was, cause like, first off, we were asked by management to do that the game 2 to 3 times. We weren't only just supposed to do it once. We were supposed to do it 2 to 3 times. And then we didn't have to read the script, but also the script was just a suggestion, and it was really, really corny. So, honestly, it was kind of a fight we had to lose, or else it would have just been stupid anyway. The 15 minutes was a little long. I think it could have been a little bit shorter, but we're all just too good at hiding. What can I say? We're all just too good at hiding. I think, also, there was a little bit of a miscommunication. I feel really bad for everyone involved because, I think they definitely intended for us to be able to finish out our plot lines, but I think the wording was maybe just a little bit hard to understand, that maybe it was misunderstood, that it was like, oh, we have to start at this time. But when I looked back and I referenced it, I was like, oh no, they did say that we can take our time. So I was like, oh no, there's a misunderstanding. There's a misunderstanding. But I really wish we could have closed off. Part of me is really curious to ask and be like, can you give me the map for ENReco? Can you open it for one more day and like just let us schedule? And can we like go in and like finish a few of those plot lines with just the people who are interested in it? I don't know. I feel like everyone's really tired too. ENReco, well, it is really fun and I really love it. It is also like a full week of non-stop thinking about only ENReco. And so, you know, it's like a I'm sad it's over, but I'm glad that I can have some air to breathe, because last week was great. I had nothing else to do really work-wise. I had a few things to do, but like generally we were able to clear out my schedule because we had the dates so far in advance. I needed to literally not have anything else. I haven't heard from my manager in a week, in like 2 weeks. I don't know what's happening anymore. I think I got my first like real message from them yesterday telling me, you have this going tomorrow. See you there. See you there. But I feel really sad for both Bijou and Shiori, because I feel like they really deserve to have their moment. You know, we had the plot of the Shakira murder, and we're planning the trial and trying to get, you know, everyone in the same place to like do it. But like it's like, then they, you know, when Bijou's like, it was kind of like a, you know, and then we had that amazing moment with roleplay with Laura and Liz, where we saw, if you watch their perspective, after they got the body back, they went and they burned the body, and Liz just did some crazy amazing DM. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it. It was a great way to close off, at least with the corpse. Yeah, DM pause. It was really awesome to watch, especially after. I will say, I also did see that, I don't know what happened either. I need to ask Shiori, because I saw in Callie's perspective, they actually went down to the church again today to try and investigate, and it wasn't there anymore. The area under the ground wasn't there anymore. There was a room, and now I really like want to know, because I'm like, oh my gosh, what was the plan with that? So it was amazing though. She changed it. She's so smart. She covered up the evidence. And then they're like digging to try and find it and they can't. And I'm like, where did it go? Oh my god, did she delete it? Did she get rid of it? Oh my god, she's crazy. She was playing 4D chess. It was amazing. So Shiori just really cooked. But so I totally understood her frustration about not being able to finish out what she had been planning. Because also people kept attributing the trial. The trial was something generally all of us had been planning, like from the beginning. Because, to be clear, we all knew that Shakira was going to die, chapter 1, and that someone was going to have murdered her, and that it was going to be a goal to find out who murdered her. So we always knew at the end there was going to be a trial. So I don't know why. I felt bad that people kept being like, Shiori's trial. I was like, it's not Shiori's trial. This is something we all planned. This is something we all put stuff into. This is all something we tried with. But it ended up being really chaotic. And yeah, it didn't really get resolved. And then just after that, we just went and did the end. So it was kind of like we're trying to do the trial and then, you know, finish the other plot lines, but it's just a little bit of misunderstanding. So please don't be too mean to Staff San. It really wasn't anyone's fault. It's just a misunderstanding. But I feel really bad for Staff as well, because I mean, I feel like all of us are getting a lot of, not all of us, but there's a lot of just negativity going around at what I think was otherwise a really wonderful season. So I really wish people would stop trying to point fingers and be like, oh, it must be all so-and-so's fault. You know, it's not really anyone's fault. You can still not like the hide and seek, I guess. But, like, again, it's ENReco. It's the main story. There's only so much you can do for minigames. There's only so much you can do for minigames. Plus, you guys love watching cute girls do cute things, so why not just enjoy cute girls playing tag? I guess my advice would be try to just enjoy it for what it was, because there's only so much you can do in a Minecraft RP. So, don't get me wrong, I had really high expectations too, and there were things I was definitely extremely disappointed with. I put in all my feedback, and I did that. And yeah. It was what it was. And there's a lot of constraints. There's only so much that can be done. And I feel like, well, the tag was a little long. I feel like it was still fun. For me as a player, at least. And especially I feel like the second time around, with us kind of having the agreement to not hide too much, I feel like made it more fun for the seekers. So but yeah, FOMO strong. Oh my god. The fact that like all the rest of us were getting caught first, I was like, jeez. It was fun. No, again, I agree. It lasted a little bit too long. It should have been shorter. But my main complaint isn't even the time. My main complaint is the place where we were doing it. I just think that space was too big for tag. If you want my actual honest opinion, the castle was way, way too big for that sort of game. Because I feel like it was really easy for me to hide somewhere and I probably would never be found. Like I could have, and if I just am not moving, the seekers would just basically have to keep looking around this giant castle, hoping that they find me. So I feel like that was my real issue. I didn't have an issue with the time, I had an issue with that. Because really, let's be real, 30 minutes isn't that long, especially compared to how long every other ENReco episode is. So I do feel like it was a bit long, but I also feel like that's because we were lasting too long. I feel like it's because it was supposed to be like a tough fought 15 minutes if it makes it that far. But instead it was like a, wow, I can just hide the whole time. So, 30 minutes. See, but that's the thing. No one, especially the second time, was just hiding. So, I think being over the top. Yeah, if everyone had just hid for the whole 30 minutes, that would have been really stupid. Hiding plus invisibility. I didn't really use the invisibility. So everyone kept being like, oh, the invisibility. Maybe everyone else was, but we only had 3 of them. I don't think they lasted very long. I don't know, though, because I didn't use it. I didn't use it, so it is what it is. 30 minutes of being frustrated. That's why the second time around, everyone was running. Or at least I told everyone to run. Wakoko kept hiding in the same spot. Wakoko. But, yeah, it definitely, it was something. Invisibility lasted like 5 seconds. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. But I do think, again, do I think the game was perfect? No. Do I think for a game that was built in Minecraft, I think it was fine. I think the space made it suffer the most. Because the other thing that everyone I feel like is missing is, as the hiders, we had an alarm thing, so we had to constantly do things that made people aware of our location. So we couldn't, like, we had to constantly be putting off, like, bells or fireworks to alert people to where you are. So it's not like we're just like, oh, well, we can just hide, and that's it. It's like, oh. But yeah, the map was huge. So again, my main issue, I feel like the game would have been fine, but the map was way, way too big. So, but I've already given that feedback, so hopefully in the future we won't run into that sort of issue. I think a straight RP. I mean, I would have liked a straight RP too, but again, how do you do that with the story of ENReco? We don't have a DM, so the only option is to give everyone a script and say, please read this script. And I don't think that's fun for anyone. We need a DM and we don't have a DM. So it would be great. I agree with you. That would be incredible if there was just RP and if there was a DM, but we did not have a DM. We have not had a DM, and Liz shouldn't be forced to DM just because we need a DM. That's not her responsibility either. But that's all beside the point. Back to, oh well, since we're already talking about it, but that's the ending. I think the tag game, it lasted a little bit long and the space was still big, but at the end of the day, it was just cute girls playing tag. And I think if you ignore it as that or as anything other than that, then maybe you'll enjoy it just a little bit more. But yeah, I think for me the most disappointing thing was that there was no end animation. I complained a lot. I was like, hey, why not? Where's the, it was really good in season 2. I think everyone really loved that. I really loved that. I thought it made it really fun. It was like a great way to build up the hype for season 3. So why did we not have that? And I already gave them a ton of flack. So I also gave them suggestions to see how it can potentially be made up for, but we'll see. As of course I'm just one talent, it doesn't mean my opinion's going to be taken into consideration. But yeah, I think when you have season 2 have such a strong ending, not having one, but I also feel like it's kind of like a midpoint too. There's still more to the story. There's still more to the story, you know, because there's still going to be one more chapter. So we're going to have to wait for the last one. For the last one to close off the story. But yeah, I'm just happy. I think one of the big things about ENReco that I really love, aside from getting to try something I've always wanted to do but never really had the opportunity to, is getting to roleplay, but also getting to do something with all of EN and getting to kind of like be together, because you know we're all so busy and it's really hard to make things where we can kind of like organically interact like that. So being able to basically be in a room with everyone and have the chance to like run into each other, it's nice. It's really nice. And obviously not everyone can always play for it as long, not everyone can play every day, but just being able to be around everyone, it's just really special. Oh yeah, Naura's plotline. Naura's plotline was amazing. Naura's plotline was incredible, guys. She's crazy. In a good way. It was like awesome. Just so many of the girls I felt like really came out of their shell in comparison to previous seasons. I feel like everyone's been doing really well with ENReco, but I feel like this season just a lot of people really were able to be like, okay, now that we've done this twice, I have a feel of how this is supposed to go, and really like have the ability to come up with something, you know? So I was just really impressed by everybody. I was really impressed with everybody. So be sure to continue giving the girls their flowers and make the episodes weekly. I'm not against that, but it's not up to me. It's not up to me. My first ENReco. I'm very confused, but it was fun. Hey, that's a good way to have it. Did Aura's plotline remind you of the Truman Show? I mean, a little bit. A little bit, I suppose. I like the Truman Show. It's a very interesting story. And I think there's some similarities because she's like, I'm in a simulation, but I think it's also kind of different because, well, they're still in a simulation, you know. Sorry, I just got said something. 1 sec. Yes, okay. Sorry, what was I saying? It was just a really, really, really good time. Yeah, it's more like the Matrix, because the Truman Show, like, he's put into a simulation and everyone around him is fake, but nowadays it's a little bit similar because she's finding out she's in a sort of simulation, but, like, at the same time, we're all also in the simulation, so we're all in it, you know? I did see her, in case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And no one believes her. I mean, she has to show the proof to the other members, but she's always traveling on her own. Anyways, let me take a break and read some questions. I'm just gonna go through and I have to look at them. I have to look at them. What bananas? Thank you for the baka supa. After long and careful consideration, I must say you should really definitely spend some more time with your friends. Oh, and Lady Bloodflame. Also, on a side note, I dreamed about you and Lady Bloodflame twice. It gets you, right? It gets you. ENReco will wrap you in its claws and you will, like, it'll, like, ruin things for you. Like, you will be thinking about it for, like, a long time. It just wraps its little talons around you and then you're stuck. You can't leave. And then I already answered this one. It was Liz's idea to change her appearance, not mine. Liz is amazing. She's incredible. I loved how things developed between you and Liz. Can't wait for the next season. Suffering from the meanful, toxic, and yandere girlfriend to Liz? What do you mean? Not noticeable. You did a good job with the girls in ENReco. Enjoyed it until the end. I'm glad. Any chance you can ask the gods for the lore dump extract? Always love hearing your thoughts on the world lore. I really want to, but I feel like I might ask them to still dump it somewhere, but I feel like my issue with this season does go with the fact that everything was kind of reused assets-wise as well. So it was really hard to want to get into the lore because I was like, well, a lot of the lore was based around the areas, so I don't know if what's in the books is actually going to be different, and I would have to go back and check, so I don't want to waste my time reading it all again if it's all going to be the same. But it's probably different, but I just, like, they would have had to have made something up completely different, about it, you know? So it would kind of invalidate the old lore. Does that make sense? Yeah, I thought it was going to be a different Liebestelle as well, so I was really surprised to see largely reused maps, and especially from season 1, which to my understanding was a simulation by the outsider. So I was like, how are we back here? I thought this Liebestelle didn't really exist. But, you know, which again, if it did then, and if that Liebestelle was based on the real Liebestelle, I don't know. Yeah, season 1 was the fake one, and so this should have been the real Liebestelle, I suppose. But, I don't know. I thought there could have been more differences in the maps. Like, for example, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. You can reuse the same map in a way, but, like, really update it a lot to give it a new feel, to make it feel exciting to explore, but, it just felt a little bit like nothing at all changed, you know? I get that it can be hard, and like building these maps definitely isn't easy, and to an extent it was also Natsukashi, we're back in like the first Liebe still. But I felt like there could have been more done, especially to like the slime fighting areas, to like make it stand out more on its own and not just be like, oh, it's just the same map again, you know. I have to read through. Did you feel any pressure being one of the most anticipated subplots in chapter 3? I don't know if I was the most anticipated, but yes, absolutely. I felt extremely stressed because I love ENReco. I want to have fun with it, but I also want to meet your guys' expectations. And whenever I see the amazing fan outpouring of just love for the series, it just makes me so excited. So I really wanted to make sure that I met everyone's expectations, but I'm like, I'm really new at role-playing. So I was like, well, what if I'm not able to? I don't think I'm going to be able to meet their expectations. And I don't want to be the reason that people don't enjoy something. You know? I hope I was able to do a good job. Because I was really nervous about it. I was really nervous. What was your favorite way of showing how obsessed NJ was with Lady Bloodflame? I agreed, the tracking her on the map. Because when I realized, I was like, oh, if we're in a party, I can track her. And she can't really get away from me because I can just see where she is on the map. So I think that was one of my favorite things, because I would just show up wherever she was. It was so funny to me. But I think my favorite moment in this time for the role play was when she was like, but as a knight, you know, I just saw fan art of it this morning that I retweeted. I was like, but as a knight, I don't want to steal. And I was like, no, as my knight. And I was like, ah! That was such a good moment. Ah! It was so fun. It was so fun in that moment too. And Liz is, again, so just incredible to act off of. So it was just, it had me going crazy, you know what I'm saying? So that was probably one of, if not my top favorite moment from the series. But yes, I love how Lady Bloodflame has become. She's so beautiful now, don't you think? Then, can I ask where the witch and Juliet's intentions with Jonathan before and after getting her memories back? Some interactions were ominous and others saved his relationship with Tam. Again, this kind of is the same. She just is self-interested, and part of her selfishness is just wanting to see how things roll out. So if she can do something for fun, she's just going to do it. Jonathan couldn't get the hat off despite being close with Tam. And NJ wasn't really that close to Tam, but she was... So in a way, I think for her it was kind of a way of showing off. Like, oh, Jonathan with a G has been trying this whole time. But Jonathan with a G can't get the hat removed, but I bet I can. So it's a little bit of a power move on my part, but also because selfishly for myself, I really wanted to get it off because I wanted their plot to advance. I'm sure they would have been able to do it without my help, but I felt like I had a good reason with me being generous with Tam Gander later that episode. And of course I was like, this is not my plot line, so I'm just going to give the hat to Jonathan and then let them sort it out. But I was like, oh, I still need to go back and look at how that resolved because I saw some clips of it, but I was like, no, I need to go watch it. I need to go watch it. Will there be Doomed Yuri in the future of Liebestel? Most definitely, yes, I am sure. Whether mine or someone else's, I'm sure there will always be Doomed Yuri. How much was the Raura thing planned? You know Bibu was a killer. Looks like it'll be NJ and Lady Bloodflame versus Shiori and Bijou next season, going by the end. I don't think the Raura thing was planned at all. So again, I want to really thank staff because very last minute, they were so on the ball with everything. Shakira's grave was my idea, and I was like, hey, what if we placed like stuff? And I had talked to staff about it, and I was like, can you please like make a like just little grave asset and like just somewhere where we can like have her be like laid to rest, because I think a lot of us are going to try to use it in the story. So we discussed them. We were able to place a gravestone, and then someone else requested her body, and I think the company was a little like, are you guys sure? But they did it anyway. That was very kind of them. And then Raura with getting her posters put in the game. You know, these are all little stuff that, technically speaking, they didn't have to do. But again, I just want to give a big shout out to staff, because they were just so on the ball with trying their absolute best to, like, accommodate us where they could. I know why they didn't want the lava or the heads. I do wish they could have accommodated that, but I also do understand. Please understand that they were also doing, like, a lot and really going out of their way to still make sure that we were having fun while working within the restrictions that there were. So did staff build the sheep effigies? I think it was Shiori. I think it was Shiori who did it. But I don't know. That's my theory. My game theory. Did I know Bibu was the killer? Yes. So from the beginning, I knew that Morden Ramsey was going to be framed for the murder of Shakira, and that the cake was going to be poisoned by Bijou. So I knew that that was going to happen. I knew who the killer was. But it's roleplay, you know? So even though I know those things, I just pretend I don't. That's what it is. I just pretend I don't know that Bijou is the killer. And then looks like it'll be an NJ versus Shiori and Bijou next. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be like versus each other proper, because at the end of the day, again, it's ENReco, it's roleplay. I think if we were going directly into it, maybe that would be the case, but we'll see how it actually ends up being. We'll see how it actually ends up being when we actually get there. And then, sorry, I'm checking for next question. The idea of Lady Bloodflame following Sister Shiori for a dungeon was smart. I saw so many people crashing out about it. It was peak drama. So many people missed the for the dungeon part. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was really funny because I think a lot of people didn't understand that I knew exactly what was going to happen, and I accepted it. I accepted it because I knew what was going to happen. I needed Liz to finish off her storyline with Mokoko, and it was an important time, and I couldn't go with them because they all already had altars. So I was like, well, I'm going to go with Gonathan, but then, you know, Shiori and Liz are already going together, and they have to go with Fuamoko. So I'm not going to go with them. So I need a very good lore reason as well for her to also just completely ignore our plotline for 5 minutes. I'm sure she would have been able to do it just fine herself. But so she gave me the idea too, because we were talking about it a bit, and we're like, okay, how do we do that? And she was like, oh, why don't you say something like this? And I was like, okay, I'll look for a good moment. But so I knew exactly what was going to happen. So I just want to always tell fans, we talk. We understand that our actions have consequences, and chances are we know a bit of what's going to happen. And I did debate on it because LVF is my Pookie. I'm a little possessive of Lady Bloodflame. I'm a little bit possessive, so it's like I don't want that. But I was like, you know, the novel flame shippers are gonna be so happy. And it'll be a fun moment, so I suppose I can do it. I get Lady Bloodflame every other day of the week. I suppose I can share my Lady Bloodflame a little bit. But yeah, it was a little. Yeah, Shiori doesn't hold back against her. Shiori's scary. I went back and I watched, and I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. Shiori's really good at being really mean. She's definitely the most villainous character for that reason, because Shiori is so good at locking in. It's so hot watching her roleplay, because she goes for it, man. She's incredible. Yeah, she's ruthless. But yeah, I thought it was so silly seeing so many people being like, "Oh, you gotta go fix her. You gotta go fix her. You don't realize what you've done." And I'm just sitting there like, guys, be so for real. I know exactly what's happening. I know exactly what I have done. You don't need to worry about me. But yeah. Did the girls know about the drill of what's going on to happen in Shiori's church underground that was so peak? No. I didn't even really know what was going to happen. I don't know if Shiori's probably talked about it, so you can take it from her, but I don't know if Shiori 100% knew what was going to happen. I think it was kind of one of those plot lines that kind of just like built as it was going, because she was like, it'll be fun. But it was so good. It was so good. Literally, peak. Peak, 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 peak. All Shiori knows how to do is create peak. She just deserves all of her flowers, all the love from everyone, from you guys, from all of us. She's just so incredible. Pachi pachi for our girl Shiori. With the hide and seek game from the finale, was it planned to be 2 rounds from the beginning, or was it changed in the moment? So from the beginning, it was supposed to be 2 to 3 rounds. We were supposed to play it 2 to 3 times, and that was always planned from the beginning. We weren't ever supposed to stop after 1 round. We were supposed to play it 2 to 3 times, and we stopped after the second because we got caught. Because I think basically it was supposed to be go until you catch Advent, but doing it more than 3 times might be too much, so we'll make an alternate for if you guys don't catch Advent. But like, basically try to catch Advent, you know. Then, does NJ still canonically lay eggs? I don't even know. Don't ask me. I don't have answers to these questions. Thanks for such a fun performance throughout ENReco. Your passion is contagious for us fans too. Aside from Advent and Liz, did anyone's RP or story really stand out to you? I mean, I've also already talked about Naura. So, who else shall I highlight? I feel like I've always got to highlight my partner in crime, Morden Ramsey. Morden Ramsey is just always, as in Callie, is always doing just an amazing job doing her own thing. And I feel like she's just able to have so much fun with it while, like, not going, like, out of her way to, like, create maybe the, like, craziest thing. But, like, she's always locked in, you know what I'm saying? She's crazy. She's crazy. She's the best chef in Liebestel. And I will say that now that I'm out of character, because she actually cooks everything. I just make potato salad. All I do is make potato salad. But she's actually, like, she's playing the game. She's playing it properly. She's making stores. She's going, like, I'm not the killer, you know, and, like, really, like, locking into with her plot line. So, obviously, other standouts would be Jonathan and Tam Gander for me this season. Every time I encountered them, I was like, oh my god. Crony just scares me in a good way when she's role-playing, because she's... what a woman. You know what I'm saying? What a woman. And I was so hard because I'm trying to, like, gaslight her. She's just having none of it. And I'm like, damn, I can't. She's too strong. And then Gigi just always does so well with Jonathan as a character. You know, making him so diverse, maybe is the word I want to use. Showing these different sides of him. She's able to interact with so many different people and just have all these different great plot lines that really just feel so impactful. So really, if I can't pick Advent or Liz or Naura, because I already talked about them, it would be those 3. Then one question, does ENReco end after chapter 4, or are they going to continue? I don't know for sure. I would imagine it ends at chapter 4, because I mean, everyone has been focused on a gen so far, and we only have 1 more gen left. So I think it will... Personally, this is how I feel. I really like ENReco, and this is coming from someone who loves ENReco. I think ENReco should go exactly as it is for 1 more season, and then I think it should end, and I think we should have after that like a new kind of project that is maybe similar vein, but maybe like in a different game, or like maybe with like different like rules and different story, maybe like a more like actual proper like role play. Like personally, just for me, I feel like that's something that for me personally I think would be more enjoyable, because I really enjoy the role play. I don't even mind that it's Minecraft. I actually like think it makes it quite easy, but I think there's just a lot more potential for stuff that we could do now that we've been like kind of trying this out. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know anything, but if it were up to me, that's personally what I would do. I would do one more season. I would finish it after 4, and then I would plan a different EN project. Because I just think that would be fun. So that's just my opinion, though. But I don't know. There's no answer. Would NJ have actually sacrificed Lady Bloodflame in the church basement if given enough time in the finale, or would she be too fond of Lady Bloodflame to do that? No. No, Ren Shifter, I'm sorry. Nerissa Juliet would have never, ever, ever allowed her Lady Bloodflame to be sacrificed at the altar. And that was never in my cards, because she is mine. Lady Bloodflame is NJ's, and she would not sacrifice her. So, if somehow Lady Bloodflame was to be, it would have had to be probably via Shiori. But if I was there in any capacity, I would shut that I'd shut that shit down. I would not allow it. I think if that would have happened, it would have ended in a very big confrontation between myself and Shiori. So, maybe it's for the better that didn't happen. Maybe it's for the better, but yeah, if you want the lore, if that had happened, because I do know some people were rightfully in ways disappointed with how the story ended, and I think it's a really great idea to make your own ending, because I think that's just as fun. But I personally would have never let her be sacrificed. So if you want the lore of how it would have gone, is I would not have let it happen. I would have protected her from Shiori, and we would have fought. It would have ended in some sort of confrontation, and me and Shiori probably our characters not being friends at the end. Because that's mine. I've built Lady Bloodflame. I've been using my demonic magic, even if it was without my knowledge, to change her. And you're going to try and sacrifice her for your own purpose? No. I will not allow it. So, that's what I think. I don't know what the others think, but that's what I think. Girl, okay, she's yours. Yeah, stay away. So, that's my opinion. Again, I don't know how the others think or how the others feel. But personally, that's where I stand. Do you know about the lore? Did you know about the lore video beforehand, and how did you reconcile with your evil witch plan with it? Also, thank you for the great performance. I have a lot of thoughts, and I haven't thought about how I want to talk about it, but I didn't like my lore video. I think it's fine for what it is, but at the end of chapter 2, I had an idea for what I wanted NJ's backstory to be. So I had actually messaged and I said, hey, I really want to have a say, and like before any work is started, I really want to talk about it with the staff so I can give like kind of the idea that I want for it. And again, I want to say I do not blame the staff. I've already talked about it in depth with them. This isn't a, oh, how could the staff do that to Nerissa kind of moment. They really did their best. It was just a lot of things that were within deadlines and were out of control that they ended up basically being on an extreme crunch that they didn't have time to check it with me beforehand. And by the time that I did get to see it, it was already at the point where there were basically like no changes. And so there were a lot of things I was like, oh, is it possible to remove her flirting with all the girls? I know it's kind of like a haha funny, but like I don't really want that. I'd rather it be like a more gritty one that was more serious, is there any way that we can change the tone a bit? Because mind you, they did make quite a few small changes for me to like change it that did put it in a place where I was a bit happier with it. But I think it made it really difficult because I was like, I don't really know how to role play off of this after getting my memories back. Because I was not expecting, I mean, my lore is not that I am a hero in any universe. In any universe, there's no universe that exists where Nerissa Ravencroft is a hero. I was locked in jail for 9,000 years for causing a vast calamity on Earth. You know, I wiped out civilization. And then I was locked away and punished. Not even just locked away. I had to actually be permanently nerfed because that is how powerful I was. So then to have this sort of AU be, you're a hero and you saved a village. Again, there's a lot of feelings. It is what it is. It's an AU at the end of the day, so it doesn't matter that much. But it was a little difficult for me. I think probably people who are watching my perspective could maybe feel that I was having trouble role-playing after that point, because I just didn't really know how to fit it in to the character that I had built in ENReco. And personally, if it wasn't going to follow my canon lore in the first place, I would have preferred, at the very least, for it to be something more serious. Still. So it was a little bit of a struggle, so my apologies for that. I was thinking about it, but I was like, I'll just come up with something in the moment because I can't think of anything when I'm thinking about it because it just made me a bit upset. But then the moment came and I couldn't think of anything. Girlie had a crash out and identity crisis. Well, I'm really good at that. I'm good at having a crash out and identity crisis. But yeah, I still think it's cute. I think it's a cute video. I love that it gives very free ren. But it's just I would not have had my video be like that. And I think it also, there's a misconception because I think people who watch ENReco do understand that it's an AU and that it's not the canon lore, but I think people who don't follow ENReco don't really know that. So I see a lot of people being like, oh, now we know that's how Nerissa lost her horn, and I'm like, no, that's not how I lost my horn. Please don't think this. Please, I literally had a small lore video in my debut that shows how it happened. Please no. So yeah, a lot of people do think it's the real lore. So even though it's like, well, I know it's AU and we can say it's AU, but there's a lot of people who maybe don't follow us closely on Twitter or maybe don't watch streams as much and just like keep up through clips, which is valid, but then won't know, oh, these videos are not canon lore. They're just, sorry, I'm brushing my hair too. They're just AU, and they might in some aspects have absolutely nothing to do with the lore, which was really the case with mine. Where it just really has nothing to do with any part of my lore. It has nothing to do with it. It's completely separate. It's literally none of it. It doesn't mention the cell. It doesn't matter that I was locked away. Like, it showed, the statue showed that she was wrapped in chains to kind of like signify it, but there's no like mention of the fact that she was like locked away and then she's a good guy, and then it like puts in this weird perspective of, oh, so she was fighting the gods, so the gods are corrupt, and my story isn't supposed to be told that way. So I was just a little bit, yeah, and I was fighting the Kirby boss that I really struggled with. Yeah, it was a feeling. I had a lot of feelings about it. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but it's an AU, so it's in the ENReco world only. That's not my actual lore, so don't overthink it. It's AU. You don't have to, you know. See, I care about character lore, so for me, it was a very... And I had a really long talk with them about it, and I was like, I understand. it's not necessarily your guys' fault because of the circumstances, but please make sure 100% that this is fixed for next time, because this is really unfair. It was really unfair that I told you at the beginning that I really, really wanted to have a say, and like, then I didn't get to have any, you know. And again, I'm not mad at anyone. I don't think that they did it intentionally. Again, they've been so accommodating. They love this project just as much as I do. So nothing was done with any malice or any bad intent. So yeah, I really do have really defined lore. I have a really defined, really clear lore story. But yeah, it is what it is. That's kind of how I felt. So I don't really know what my process is. I think the direction is now she's just going to be like, well, yes, I was a hero, so that must mean that my thoughts now must be right. So I think that's the direction I'm going to take it, but admittedly, I'm probably going to mostly ignore it, because what it also did is it nullified some of the stuff that Shiori's character was saying from the beginning, because Shiori has, Shiori of the novella didn't lose her memories, right? She had them. She had all of her memories, and so she was, you know, dropping hints of certain things, and I feel like also because it didn't follow my lore in ways that I felt like it followed, for example, Shiori's lore, or even Biju's lore was mentioned, and until it went and just had her doing cute girl things, I felt like mine didn't mention it at all. So now, canonically, Shiori was lying to Liz in ways, so it's depending on how you roleplay, like. So it's again, it just creates some issues with the story that we're building, but I'm just gonna mostly just ignore it. So it's an AU. Enjoy it. It's a really pretty animation. If you want to see Nerissa the hero, that's her. Has statues built in her honor because she's so good. Yes. If anything, I will say that's the defining. That's the redeeming feature of it, is that it makes me think of Free Ren, and I think that's really beautiful. So, if you want to hear the most egregious thing, though, that I got removed, I'll tell you. One thing that I did ask to change from the original draft is initially, after getting confronted by the girl, she had like a big comical like anime bump on her head, you know, where they do like the like skin bump to show that you've been like beat up. And she had looked like she'd been beat up, and I was like, can you please not do that to me? I was like, are you joking? Like, is this a joke? Can you please not do that? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll remove it. And I was like, thanks. But yeah, it was definitely, it was a choice. It was a choice. So I found it funny when a lot of people were like, oh, so Nerissa's was one of the most serious. And I was like, it was not supposed to be. It was not supposed to be that serious. It was supposed to be more jokey, I think, but it's okay. What have you done to staff, Nerissa? I don't know. I must be really silly. They're like, Nerissa's so funny. But yes, now I feel like I was able to make some small changes to make the perspective a little more serious. So again, it is what it is. Is it my favorite thing in the world? No. Do I wish it was different? Yes. But do I appreciate it for what it is? Yes. And I'll do my best with it going forward in the future. For only ENReco, because it's not my lore. So it's just an AU. Anyways, moving on. I'm curious as to what the hardest moment for you to stay in character, because there were so many moments that left my sides hurting. Okay, that one's easy. It was when we were trying to sacrifice Naura, and I was just laughing my ass off, and you could hear me just laughing, and even Naura, bro character, she's like, why are you laughing at me? And I'm just like, I'm sorry, cards don't. I can't fucking do it, man. Like, it was a really good moment, but it was just like the combination of things. Like, Naura being such an incredible role player, which caught me off guard, so I was already really giddy, because she was just... oh, I actually met with Naura later after that, and that was the first thing I said. It's like, you're so amazing! You cooked so hard! She just blew me out of the water. But then like having Bijou in the corner with Shakira's body just twerking. It was just so funny. It was just so funny. So the whole scene, it was amazing. Like I would love for someone to like do like an anime animation of that and then like have a really serious script and like go back and actually like voice act that. Like that would be amazing because that was just incredible. But like the scene itself, like while it was happening, just the different combination of things was so comical. It was so funny. So I couldn't. Anyway, is the ENReco map gonna disappear when it's all over? Or will it be open for others to play? There's a lot of cool things made just to see it all thrown away at the end. I don't have an answer for you. I would love for it to be sometime released to fans to go and be able to explore and have fun playing the game as well. And like go through the dungeons. Even if it's just like as a map with everything already unlocked. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Again, I'd really like for it to. I'd love to see that happen someday. I don't have the answers for you though. Is there something about your character you find particularly tricky to build around? And in hindsight, might have changed if you knew that it'd be tricky. We already just talked about this in depth, so sorry for going quick, but the lore, the AU lore story that I got. And then, oh, I already answered this too. Did you all have input on your alternate universe cutscenes? No, I did not. I wanted to. I asked to. Things just didn't work out like that this time. I've already given my feedback. It's all good. Just curious, but how did you ever see Lady Bloodflame was affected by NJ telling her to forget about her for a while during day 5? Oh, but did I ever see? No, technically I didn't see. I did watch Liz's perspective after the fact, but I didn't like in universe. I did not really see much or know anything apart from what Liz has told me. And I don't think Shiori the novella told me about it, so I don't know about the extent of that. So it didn't happen in my little mind. My biggest question is about the sound effect played in Lady Bloodflame's point of view whenever NJ manipulated her. Was that something that they had planned together beforehand? By the way, you were incredible. Thank you. I did not know that was going to happen. And I was really surprised because basically I go and I will watch Liz's perspectives after the fact because Liz is just an incredible role player. She's so fun to watch. So I will watch her. That was all Liz, baby. I do not deserve any credit at all for anything Liz was doing. Liz is just an amazing role player. She was so helpful and she's so fun to act with. That was all her. She came up with the idea of changing. She came up with the sound effect idea. Just so incredible. That was all her. Do not even pretend to give me any credit. That was all our queen, Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame. So give her her flowers 100%. She's just absolute cinema. Why did you farm so much money, by the way? Well, I always do, because I like to be the richest. But I was going to gamble, and then I forgot, and then it was too late. Aside from NJ and LBF, what was your favorite plotline? Also, you softening NJ's demands to LBF made them feel even more manipulative to me, as if NJ was giving others the impression of a choice. See, I kind of felt that way too, but then I wanted, again, I thought it would be more serious. Because I wanted you guys too to realize very clearly that NJ is a villain. Give me some of your vitriol too. Where's my vitriol for being a gaslight gatekeeper girl boss? And then I wanted to add, or my favorite plotline probably, I think just Shiori's. I was involved in that one, but Shiori's and Naura's both just had me like engulfed the whole time. I would like see anything. It was just, again, incredible plotlines. They really stole the show this time. I wanted to ask about your interpretation of NJ's dissociative personality disorder because it's a topic my friends and myself have been discussing over the week. So how NJ's brain currently works is in season 2, NJ sort of had a breakdown because she had forgotten who she was. So she kind of had like a rewrite and just kind of became almost childlike in a way, where she's very sweet and she just wants everyone to like her, and she's just going around being very nice to everyone because she kind of vaguely maybe remembers that these people are her friends, but she doesn't remember anything. But then she feels the cold sting of rejection from everyone, and especially this specific person who feels extremely close to her. It's like they're mad at her. They're mad at her for not being who they want her to be, but also they just are kind of treating her cruelly in ways that she doesn't understand. So as the season progresses and progresses, each dungeon she gets another memory back, and she just feels the memories of this person that she doesn't remember come back into her mind, and it's telling her that this is who she is. But then Lady Bloodflame's also telling her that this is who she is. But then inside of her, this is who she thinks she is, and all of them don't quite match up. So she ends up using the memories that she's gaining as well as what Lady Bloodflame is telling her in order to build this personality of who she thinks that others want her to be, of who she thinks that she is supposed to be. So as the chapter progresses, chapter 2, she turns into something else entirely. She turns into who she thinks she's supposed to be, and who she is gets lost amidst all of this chaos within her internally, and she becomes the witch rather than becoming herself rather. So I think that's kind of my interpretation of it. It's not that who she is as a character doesn't still exist inside of her, the sweet, cute Chef NJ, but she can never really come back in the same sense. Because she just doesn't exist anymore. Like, and at this point, Nerissa Juliet has done so many terrible things that even if she did kind of come back in some sense, I don't think she'd ever be redeemable. Yeah, when the mask becomes a person, exactly. So she kind of had a bit of a breakdown, which caused her to develop. And now it's happened yet another time in this recent season where now she has gotten back her memories about herself, and in this universe Nerissa was a hero before she was in Liebestelle, right? So she was a little bit of a flirty hero, and she has yet again this other personality that doesn't seem to match with what she thinks that she is, or what she thinks that she is supposed to be. So a lot of Nerissa Juliet's arc is based around perception and how others perceive you. So I feel like that's really her own perspective, is that she wants to, she does not know who she is, and so she struggles to have a personality, because at this point she has 4 different versions of herself that all feel completely different from each other inside of her head. So she's just kind of putting on the witch, which is an artificial one, right? All the other ones are technically real. There's the one from the first Liebestelle, then there's the one from season 2, and then there's the one that she retrieved from the memory. So the witch one is kind of this one that she has created that is kind of her shield from all of the internal chaos that's happening inside of her. Does that make sense? I'm probably explaining it really poorly, but that's kind of my explanation, if you want to. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it next season, but it's fine. It's fine. What did you think? What do you think NJ joined the Illumination? Did she believe the gap is real in the world? Also, would NJ think Roa is crazy too? Thank you, Risa. Again, Nerissa Juliet is just very self-interested. She's just really self-interested. She does not gaff. She doesn't care if it's real or not. It sounds like fun, so why not? But I think she very much wanted to see proof. So I think in next season, she'll be maybe a little bit distrustful of Roa, because Roa showed her a wall that they couldn't reach, but she did not actually break her out of the simulation. So I think she will be a little, unless she sees some proof, she won't actually believe it. But it's not so much that she necessarily thinks she's crazy. It's just that she's what is the word? She's humoring the idea. She doesn't necessarily disbelieve it, but she doesn't believe it either. And then my biggest question is the sound effect that played in Lady Bloodflame's POV when Nerissa manipulated her. Was that something that you had planned together beforehand? I didn't know about it until the day of. So we did not plan that together. We had talked a little bit about where we wanted to take things, but I know for me, I really want her to be able to especially have her moment to shine, because I know we're leading into her chapter as well. So we talked a little bit just to make sure that we're on the same page. But yeah, it was all her. So again, give her her flowers. That was not none of what she was doing was me. That's all her. How did you keep from dying when Shakira Ghost was twerking? I was dying. I literally had tears in my eyes. Like, I think I even said that in the moment. I was not joking. There were tears in my eyes. I don't think I can read that one. I love the creativity of everyone's roleplay this season. Some of my favorite moments were the duality of Shiori and Raura's horror themes being interrupted by Fuawa's fluffy music. That was very silly. I love when Fuawa was just like, but I have all these music, listen to my music. I was like, oh my gosh, you're so silly. Will there be an official edit of stream highlights wrapped up in a 3-ish hour video with the BGMs? The personal plot lines with epic music playing in the background is incredible as a real movie. I don't know. I'm not personally planning. I think that'd be something I'd like to make, maybe at like the end when ENReco's like all said and done and over. But that's not something I'm currently planning to make per se. So, if there's any, though, on that note, if there's any video editors who also like to clip and also like ENReco, feel free to hit me up. Feel free to like show up in my like tag or something and like show your work. I definitely am looking for more like video editors for stuff like that. I'd love to be able to do that, but I just don't know. Like, I don't have time to go back and find the highlights, so I'd need it to be someone who loves ENReco and likes me and wants to actually go back and find all of those moments and then create the supercut, and then I would just pay them basically. So, if there's any of you who that's your thing and you are an active video editor, hit me up. But otherwise, unless I find someone who's able to do that, then I don't know. If you were able to have gotten Lady Bloodflame into the church dungeon, how do you think it would have played out? I would not have brought her there under any circumstances. She was not going to the bottom of that church, and if she was, I was not letting my Pookie be sacrificed. That is my Pookie. Like, I will have her go outside and kill herself in the dirt wall before I have herself be sacrificed, you know? What are things that production did right this time around? I've been seeing a lot of criticism. I mean, I feel like I've been praising them a lot. Again, they were so on the ball of, like, when we did have a request, like, finding the best way that they can implement it into the game. Like, again, and we saw it so much with, again, the Shakira stuff specifically, with Raura's plotline, generally, and even, like, for me, I really told them, one of the reasons you probably realized we all started with hats, is because I said, hey, for roleplay purposes, I kind of really need my witch hat from the previous season, because that's how I've been showing the difference of who's in control and of, like, NJ. So I really would like to have that at the start. Is there any way? And they were like, well, it might be unfair if only you get a hat. And I'm like, I'm fine with everyone getting a hat. So can you find a way, like, if it's some sort of, like, thing, and then you just like blast it into our, like, things. And then they took some time, but when they came up with it, they're like, yes, we found a way. Everyone's gonna get one free hat at the beginning of their choice. It's gonna be a gift box. It'll show up in your description, or in your inventory. And I was so grateful, because that was something they didn't have to do. It seems like such an easy thing, and it is such an easy thing, but they found a way to make sure that everyone had the same experience, even if they didn't think to ask for it. And again, they just did a lot of things like that were really thoughtful and, like, really went out of their way. So definitely the staff that were working on this 100% deserve their flowers. They were doing so much to try and make sure that we all were happy and having a good time. So again, I understand the criticisms of certain aspects. Don't necessarily disagree, but please don't be so hard on Staff Sound. They worked really, really hard on this. The way she would handle Wingonathan and Tampon the Church Underground was peak improv. She's so good. I don't even know if she realizes how good she is at role playing. She's crazy. She floored me. It seems like there was a bit less explicit acknowledgement of the voices in your head this chapter. Was that deliberate, or am I imagining things? I wasn't really reading chat as much. I was enjoying the role play there were times where I would still like think about it and I'd be like, oh yeah, voices in my head, because I'd be looking at chat. But I wasn't really looking too much. So that's why. That is why. Is there anything you'd like to see fanfic authors write about from this season? I already detailed in depth about if Lady Bloodflame was trying to be sacrificed. I think that's something I'd love to see, is very, very possessive NJ not allowing Shiori to sacrifice Lady Bloodflame and them having kind of a showdown of sorts, even if it's just verbal over it and ending as not friends. I feel like that's something I'd really like to see. ENReco was fun. Thank you. No questions. Thank you, Mayuzumi. Asking Liz to slay you is peak Doom Fury. Were you aware of how much your words affected Liz? Like her being stuck in the picnic blanket. I didn't realize the picnic blanket one. I will say, I did not realize I did that. I felt really bad when she was like, I cannot leave. I was like, oh, I did tell you not to leave. Oh, sorry. That one was not intentional, but generally, yes. Generally, when I was making a decision and saying something, I didn't realize that it was going to have a large effect on her, but I did not realize with the picnic blanket that I did that to her. Oops. Do you think all the magic involved in NJ and LBF's bond is all one way from NJ, or does LBF's oath hold its own power? Did NJ expect the physical changes to LBF went through, or were they surprising? I don't think NJ... Because the issue is, Nerissa Juliet didn't really know that she was a demon necessarily. She knew she had horns, but I don't think she knew anything. So I don't think she knew... I'm not 100% sure what Liz's perspective is on it too, so I don't want to say definitively because her perspective is also important. But my interpretation of it is that Nerissa, as the demon of sound, and this was still mentioned in the lore story, that she has a lot of power in her voice and such, right? Which was, I would say, unintentionally affecting Liz. And I think there's more factors at play, but I do think that's part of the reason, is basically unbeknownst to her, her demonic magic was having this effect on Liz, or rather Lady Bloodflame, whose character is already so intrinsically tied to their word. So I don't think that... I don't know if there was anything crazy going on in Lady Bloodflame's oath. Again, I can't speak specifically because I don't know all the Lady Bloodflame lore. I'm just like you guys. I'm but a humble viewer. But I do think in regards to that, that is my interpretation of what was happening. But if Liz talks about it, definitely listen to hers, because I'm sure she has a very deep, in-depth explanation. Do you think you could be friends with NJ? Do you see any possibility of the Yuri being detoxified? Could I be friends with NJ? I mean, she is I and I am her. So, yes. I don't know. She's kind of crazy. I don't know if she'd be a very good person to be friends with. The character, because she's very self-interested, and I don't really like people like that. I don't like people who can't communicate. I don't like people who are overly like possessive or like expect too much from their friends. It's those are all traits in people that I really dislike. So I think I don't think I could be friends with her. As for the next one, I don't know. You're just gonna have to wait and see. Did you see a clip or the part where Bibu was sort of venting to Shuri about being left out of the Advent? She wove it as part of her RP. Oh. I don't think it was intentional by any like extent. I don't think she was being left out by any extent, and I don't know if she was super duper hurt by it, but we're all talking about things, so we love Bibu in this household, so it's definitely was not something that was intentionally done. I think it's just a lot more people were together, you know? And so I think, I think it was in RP. So I wouldn't, and she's also sick right now, so I wouldn't let it make you think anything weird. So we love Bibu! We love Bibu! Give Bibu lots of love. She's our little baby girl. She's our baby girl. So, I'm just curious, which dungeon was your personal favorite this season? Which dungeon in all of ENReco is your favorite? The RP was definitely so much fun this year. I'm a little biased, so I have to pick my own dungeon. I have to pick my own because I didn't get I didn't know what it was going to look like or anything. So, yeah. I really enjoyed mine. It was so much fun. And I liked the musical aspect of it. I did go back and find my thing. I had to ask for help though, finding the solution to my puzzle, because I did copy it down from the outside map, but I literally couldn't find it like anywhere. Even though I was looking really hard for it, and I was like, what? But I was like, now that I'm in here, I literally can't go back to look at it. So I asked Staffson. They're like, do you want a hint? And I was like, I'm sorry, it's past the point of a hint. I need you to give me the answer. It's like, you just have to tell me what it is at this point. So they did. They gave me the solution. It was very nice. How much input in their memory did you give? Again, none. Hi, slightly off track, but thanks for the Bijou passenger for her Forza 6 stream. Delightfully surprised you brought up Wangan Midnight when you were looking up her Skyline R32, since everyone else seems fixated on Initial D. Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun driving with Bibu. She's crazy. She's a crazy driver. But I love Wangan Midnight. As mentioned, I don't play it now, but that's only because I don't know where I put my Bana Pass. But I used to play the fifth one. I don't even remember the full name, because I would just go and I would play. But yeah, I drove one of the BMWs and I would just race. I finished the whole story, I think, in the Wangan Midnight arcade, the fifth one game that was available in the US. But it was really fun. I haven't had a chance. It is in Japan, but I haven't played it. I enjoy the story. I enjoy the story of Wangan Midnight. If you haven't seen it and you like racing anime, then I would definitely check it out. If you already like Initial D, you will like it as well. So give it a watch. You will like it. As a Novel Flame plus Blood Raven plus Blood Quill fan, I am fat and happy. I am happy for you. And then this is the same question about the sound. I did not know, but I found out after the first day, and then I knew. You and Liz gave all of us a lot of material to cook, so thank you so much for that. Already writing once more myself. Question, does NJ aim to completely subdue LBF, and if so, for what purpose? I think she just wants to possess her. I think she wants to possess Lady Bloodflame, because for herself, in her fucked up little mind, I think she really does feel like she has nothing, because she doesn't have her personality. She doesn't remember who she is. She doesn't she's just kind of putting on a farce, you know, and then everything she gets back feels contradictory to who she feels she should be. So even now, with her most recent memory, nothing that she has gotten, she feels like resonates with who she thinks that she is, and goes against the person that she has become. So she doesn't really have anything except for what she thinks is Lady Bloodflame, who has kind of been connected to her since chapter 1, right? So she kind of just has this desire to not lose her, and it ends up coming out in this really horrible, toxic way, because she doesn't want to lose this one person, right? That she feels is like her one. I don't. It's just she's her person, you know. She's her person. She's the steadiness. She's kind of looks to her. Even though NJ might seem like she's the one in power now, especially in chapter 2, she was really looking for her to, in a way, tell her who she was, which is the whole reason this has kind of happened. in the first place was because she does respect and love and care about Lady Bloodflame. So when Lady Bloodflame tells her, but you're a witch, you know, and kind of treats her as so, she is able to become that, to kind of reflect, well, okay, then I'll become what you tell me I am. So it's very codependent. She's very reliant, but at the same time, she wants to keep Lady Bloodflame all to herself and doesn't want to share her. So very, very toxic dynamic. Love toxicity, but she's very dependent on Lady Bloodflame to be who she is. So I don't know what she would even do without her. But I don't think NJ's intentions aren't necessarily meant to be evil per se. They are evil, but she's scared of losing her, so she wants control. Let's talk about our villain and let's sympathize with her. Really, she's scared and she wants control, and she feels like she doesn't have it, so she's become very toxic and terrible. Yeah, evil by default, not by choice. She's just a little guy. She's not a little guy. You guys are more than welcome to be like, fuck NJ, that bitch. Please feel, you are more than welcome to, you know. Yeah, cool motive. Still mind control. It is still mind control. Exactly. It is still mind control. But I don't think she's necessarily aiming to completely subdue Lady Bloodflame, but she just wants her to be at her side, and she's done it unintentionally, mayhaps. Intentionally and unintentionally, in a way that doesn't give Lady Bloodflame a choice. So that's just what it is. So what does NJ think of seeing herself, or her seemingly more selfish version of herself, on her recollection? Will it still affect her next season, do you think? Again, I think the way, I don't know, because when it actually comes around, it might be different, but I think generally she's just taken it and seen, well, if I was a good person, then I am still a good person, and that means that I am just and right. So, yeah, I believe that is how I will continue to read into it. Were you financially supporting CC and Gigi and Crony because their quests were too hard to complete? I don't know. I wanted to help them. That's it. That's all. Not really a question, but my favorite part was Liz calling CC Fia's hat cute, and NJ immediately got jealous and it killed me. Bro, I couldn't believe she did that right in front of my salad. Right in front of me. I was like, are you crazy? I'm literally right here and you're gonna call someone else cute? She's like, oh no, it was a hat. It's like, no, absolutely not. It was a good moment for me too. I thought it was funny. Just wanted to thank you for driving me even more insane this past week from interacting with my delusional posts. I usually keep these thoughts in my head, but you and Liz drag them out of me with your amazing acting. Thanks. You're welcome. You're my hero, though. Thank you. I love the AU lore videos. I saw some say Shiori was the only one in jail this time, which is weird. I think they missed the end part for Bibu, that everything was just her dreaming. Yeah. I don't know why mine wasn't in jail. Again, I think they meant for it to be, but because it wasn't explicitly stated, it's a bit unclear. And I don't think most of the girls interpreted it like that because it wasn't explicitly stated that I was locked in jail. But I think the statue being the way it was supposed to signify how I was locked away for saving the village. But I don't know because it wasn't stated. I love the AU lore videos, or that's the same one. Could always say the memories were selectively shown to others to give them a false impression of your motives. The monster angel thing may have been the world's guardian. Yeah, but I also don't want to do that because I think it makes it difficult because it goes against what the lore is actually saying, and you can't expect everyone to keep up, like all the other role players to keep up with your perspective. So it's a little bit unfair to just say, actually, my lore wasn't correct, you know, or like, haha, it was a trick, you know, like it kind of cheapens it a bit. So I just need to get good and find a way to work around it. Bloodraven, this chapter was peak, but I was confused with the conclusion. Did Lady Bloodflame break the curse or completely succumb to the dark side? You're gonna have to ask her. I can't tell you. I don't think the curse is broken, though. Based on the fact that she still looks like that. I don't know. about a post-season 4 project, thoughts on maybe doing it in VR chat with a group like OSRP, or do something with the creators / just EN but with DMs, something long form akin to Return to Bloodwell. Other Hollow Branch is I don't know. Again, I think if it were up to me, I don't know about VR chat because admittedly my thing, I don't have a lot of VR chat experience, and I think a lot of other people also don't. So being in the VR headset gives me like really, really bad headaches. Like I have to like take a nap after wearing them because it's so like, it makes me feel, and I don't ever experience motion sickness doing literally anything else. Like I can drive in a car forever and I won't get motion sickness. I can be on a boat and I don't get motion sickness. But oh my gosh, VR chat, that shit'll do me in. Like that shit'll do me in so bad. So I'd love to do something like that, but I think I definitely, like it would, I feel like it would be difficult. And also like, I don't have a VR like setup at home, right? I don't have like full body VR chat trackers. I don't know how to use them. And it's kind of, that's kind of like a, what is the word I'm looking for? It's kind of an entry-level thing that is a lot to learn. Once you learn it, I imagine you're like I think Liz is like a super wizard. Like how does she know how to do all this stuff? I think it's insane. She's incredible. But I think it's a really steep learning curve, and I don't have a lot of those things, so it's a big investment for something that I know makes me feel really sick. And I know the more I do it, the less sick I will feel. But I need to get like a really, really lightweight one, and I wouldn't know what to buy, and then I need to figure out how to use the everything, you know, like it's just, for me, it's a lot of stuff that seems a little bit scary. So it's, and to expect that of every single talent in EN, I think would just be a bit much. I just don't think that's possible. So I think that would be a lot to expect. So I think, I don't know. I will leave it to the team if they decide to do another project like this, but I think, again, something long form, something that is a little more interesting than just Minecraft roleplay with a very simple story, and actually just having a DM would just be really exciting for me. So I hope that if we do something else like this after ENReco is all over and done with, I hope that it is there's a proper DM if it's another roleplay thing, because I really enjoyed this. I really love the roleplay. I really want to do more, but I really want to not have that. Well, NJ and LBF get married in chapter 4, and you'll have to watch and find out. Where do you think NJ stood in her relationship with different people by the end of chapter 2? Do you think she made more friends / enemies, or did her gaslighting work and no one suspects NJ's match? I think everyone suspects NJ. I think everyone knows I'm pretty evil. I think me and Shiori had the roughest end to our relationship, because I think we still are going to get along, but I think it's going to definitely be tentatively and suspiciously. I do think maybe because right now the most important characters to my individual story are Lady Bloodflame and the other members of Advent. So, and especially specifically Shiori. So I think right now Shiori and Biju's characters are really close. So I think whatever Shiori thinks about me, probably the interpretation will be shared by Biju's character. And then yeah, we'll see. I'm really scared. Yeah, I think some of the characters are very suspicious of NJ. I think some of them aren't, but we'll see how it gets picked up in next season. Because, for example, obviously things change, people forget things, so it's kind of a little bit of a fresh slate. Immerkind and Gonathan fully believe NJ is on the good side? Are you joking? Do they seriously? Shiori knows you told Lady Bloodflame about Shakira's body. Bijou doesn't yet. Oh no, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I really enjoy ENReco this season. Your acting was great. Were you surprised that Justice wasn't part of Advent's memories? I was expecting that to be a bigger reveal that would cause some conflict. No, I'm not surprised, because it wouldn't make sense for them to have been, because then their chapter 4 would have been kind of confusing to work with. So, and if anything, on the flip side too, I think showing any of us in their memories is something I kind of hope doesn't happen, because I feel like you really want the focus to be on them. Just like I really wanted Advent's focus to be on Advent. for this season, like when it comes to the memories. So I think including anyone else in it kind of makes it kind of like, oh, well, but I was excited to just learn about my Oshi's past. And I feel like our pasts don't have to intersect, but it'll also be a bit unfair in a way. Like maybe one mention of Advent, I don't have an issue with that, but I think overly including anyone in other people's lore, I think would have maybe not been a good move. Like it could have worked if this was just Advent and Justice, but because of all the other factors, I don't think so. And I'm glad that it didn't. Where was I? With the way Chapter 2 ended with Advent being corrupted with the curse at the end, did you ask the rest of Advent to slightly change up how you'd approach Season 2 at the start? Did you and the rest of Advent slightly change up how you would approach Season 3 at the start? I think we just tried to get together at the end of Season 2, and then we had a little bit of a plan for it. But mostly, yeah. I don't really know, honestly. I have an answer, because we were just doing our best, you know? We kind of talked. We had a little bit of a plan for certain things, but we didn't, like, have a plan for, like, Advent as a whole. We were just kind of all enjoying being a little evil. Did you know Jonathan and LBF had a really touching talk after you left the tree? I almost cried. It seems LBF is ready to stand against his former comrades for NJ's sake. I did hear it a little bit. I have to go back and listen. But yeah. See, I thought they were coming down from the tree, so I was like, I gotta get out of here. But, yeah, I think their relationship is so sweet, and I hate to be the one to ruin it. But, God, do I love stirring the pot. I'm so sorry. Any chance of asking the staff about uploads of the ENReco music? The town themes are earworms. I do think they're probably like from like Dova syndrome or something. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if they're creative for the project though. So I would maybe, I don't know. So I don't think they could like release them, but you could probably find them. Where am I? I missed something. You said you didn't know Shui covered up the church basement, but did you suspect that it was clocked despite the memory wipe? The sequence was a fever dream. Yeah, I think I did figure that people were going to kind of like remember, if that makes sense. I did think that they were going to remember it. Because I was like, you know, like, it'd be crazy if they didn't, but also it's kind of important for them to kind of remember something was up in order to close off this storyline. So I did expect them to probably not forget it 100%. So I liked Roa's. I liked being able to help her kind of start getting her memory back. Because it's fun. Okay, next. How did you/NJ feel when CC and GG split you two up so GG would have an intervention with LBF? Imagine you probably knew what was going on right away. I did know what was going on right away. But at the same time, then CC, she's just so cute. And she plays Immerkind so pathetic. So she's like, oh, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you please help me? And I was like, oh, CC's so cute. Yes, I will listen to her. But then after I realized she really was just dragging it on, I was like, she doesn't care. I was like, I'm leaving. I think NJ was probably pretty mad. I think she was privy to the fact from the beginning that she was being manipulated out of, you know, hearing whatever they wanted to talk about. But I very much was I was struggling because CC, I love CC so much. She's so cute. Next up, Hello Princess. What are your thoughts on when Lady Bloodflame found you hiding under the stairs during the Advent chase and told NJ to stay behind her? That was a really, really cute moment. I loved it, and at that point, I just wanted us to lose the game because I was like, this game is gonna last too long, and I don't want it to last much longer. Because I could tell I felt really bad for the Seekers because I could tell they were getting frustrated, and I think some of the audience was getting frustrated because they're like, this isn't plot, it's just a game of tag. And because the Seekers were getting really frustrated, I think their fans especially were getting frustrated because they're like, oh, the game's really unfairly stacked. So I think I was like, we need this game to end. So I was like, this is perfect. Because I was planning on, if there was ever a situation where things seemed dire, being like, you have to kill me in this sort of thing. So that's why I was like, Liz, it has to be you. But the situation, I'm just like, I'm literally 2 inches tall. I'm literally 2 inches tall and can fit in your pocket. But yeah, so I was happy that I got to do that because I was like, I need to run into her in a place and time where me and her are alone. So I was glad it worked out. It worked itself out. And I was happy about it. So, and then you guys are being so mean to me about this. Did you really not know what ERP was? I didn't. I'm so serious. Like, I laughed because I was like, Liz started screaming, but then when she kept screaming, I like figured from that it was probably something along the lines of what it was, but I didn't know because when I hear E, I assume like email, you know, like the E that represents like virtual stuff. So I was like, well, in my head, I'm like, well, that's what we're already doing, right? Because we're online. But then that is not what it meant. Actually, I found out specifically, especially from Twitter. So, Risa, ain't no way. I'm sorry to say I am not lying to you on my Scout's honor. On my Scout's honor, I did not know. But also, why do you guys think I would know that? I don't have a lot of roleplay experience. I don't do a lot of roleplay stuff, so why would I know that term? I honestly didn't know. You guys are so mean to me. Like, oh, how dare Nerissa Ravencroft not know everything, every dirty thing in the world. Nerissa Ravencroft must be lying. That witch. And I'm like, guys, I didn't know. Please stop. Please stop being mean to me. Yeah, no, I did not know what that was. Now I do, though. So, thanks for that, CC and Gigi. I've seen in some comment section NJ as my knight equal would you kindly, a subtle unintended Bioshock reference there. Just remember, a lady chooses, a knight obeys. See, I have never played Bioshock, so I didn't know that. But now I do know. As my knight, would you kindly? Maybe I'll get into it. Maybe I'll get into it sometime, Bioshock. This is the last one that we have, so this is the last one I'll do, and then we'll wrap up. How do you think NJ would react if Lady Bloodflame's personality ends up blanked out in this cursed process? I do think she'd be devastated, because at the end of the day, I think she does really, really care about Lady Bloodflame in her own way. And so I think, depending on where the story goes, I think there's a lot of potential for NJ to end up really heartbroken. Our evil little baby, who, as you can see her on my head. I love this. Thank you very much, Pachi, for this. Pachi made this for me as like a little extra with my big commission. And then initially I couldn't get the hat to work because I had to like edit it and extend the file length and like add like a blank pixel so that it would actually track properly. But so I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to put the baby on my head. But I love the little things that you guys were doing, like drawing the art of like the little NJ controlling me like a ratatouille. Sadly, there was not a real NJ under my hat. There was not a little NJ controlling me, sadly. But it was very cute. I still like it. And now we have canonical Little Witch Nerissa Juliet because during the chase sequence I turned small. So you can still draw her. And at that point I think I put the hat back on, no? So enjoy yourselves. With tiny, teeny, teeny. It was all foreshadowing. It was all foreshadowing. Baby Nerissa. See, even when I see it, I want to say New Jersey. Across the river in Jersey. Everything is legal in New Jersey. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen for next season. I'm still very, very excited for ENReco Season 4. And while I know, acknowledging again the elephant in the room, I know a lot of fans were a little bit disappointed, not with anything that us girls were doing, but just with the ending in general. And I know at least I was a bit disappointed with the fact that there were some plot lines that weren't able to be completed. But I hope that for all of you who enjoyed my perspective, that you can still find a lot of enjoyment in ENReco Chapter 3, because at least for me personally, I put a lot of love and effort. So I think it was a little bit hard being on Twitter yesterday. Yesterday and the day before, because you know, we really did our best, but seeing so much negativity, well, again, I totally understand people being upset, and I think that's completely valid. And again, I don't disagree. Seeing all of the hard work that we put in basically be sidelined for an ending that, let's be honest, we all knew probably wasn't going to be very exciting. And the fans saying things like, oh, it ruined it for me, I didn't enjoy it. I think it made me feel a lot of things. It made me just not want to do anything for a little bit. I was like, I'm just gonna take the day off now, because initially I was gonna do the stream yesterday, but I was like, I don't have the energy. I don't want to think about ENReco right now, just because everyone hates it all of a sudden. So there goes a week of my life trying my best, and now because of something that was completely out of my control, everyone's really unhappy. So, but I'm feeling a bit better today. I thought about it a lot, and I was like, well, I don't hate it, and I didn't like it. Do I think it could have been better? 110%. And do I think some things were a little bit disappointing? Yeah, but I think overall I had so much fun this chapter, and I think so many of the girls locked in so hard and put in so much hard effort. Like pretty much everyone was there like the whole entire event, and so many of the girls really went into the role play and really just gave it their all and came up with such cool, amazing storylines. And the best part is, this isn't the end of the story yet. There's still going to be one more chapter. So while it sucks it ended on a cliffhanger, sometimes your favorite anime end on a cliffhanger, but as long as they finish eventually, it'll be okay. As long as it doesn't end up like some of my favorite anime of ye olden days, where it's like to be continued, and then the manga doesn't even continue, and then you're like, I'm going to have to end it all, because now there will never ever be an end to the story. There will never be an end to the story that I liked. But luckily, there's still more. ENReco season 4. So look forward to it. Again, I don't know if there will be a chapter 5 or if chapter 4 is the end. I'm assuming chapter 4 is the end. I want personally chapter 4 to be the end, because I want to start a different project after that. That is, you know, a little more, maybe something else. But I don't know. There's a large chance that maybe there might be a season 5. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea, and I'm not the person who would know. For justice! Yeah, look, we've already talked about it. You're gonna have to rewatch this stream. But yeah, so that's kind of where I am now. Again, I had so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And enjoyed hearing about my perspective. Thank you again to these amazing artists who helped make this season so wonderful and so fun. Thank you to everyone as well who's been so positive and so kind and loving to all of the girls for all the efforts that we put in this season. I think all of us really locked in and had a lot of fun. So seeing your positivity, your fan art, the animatics that people have already been making, you know, stuff like that, it really warms my heart, and it makes me feel so happy to have such an amazing audience here in hololive. And I hope you guys will look forward to the next time there's ENReco. I probably won't talk about ENReco now for a bit. Like, I might mention it, but like generally we're gonna have to go back to using the regular ending screens and opening screens and stuff. But I hope you guys fully enjoyed this season. And I hope you will very much look forward to the next time that ENReco comes around. I know I am. I will doing my... don't worry, guys. I'm fighting for you too. So I'll be doing my best on this side to do what I can to have the finale be really exciting next time. I think all of us will be working really hard together with the team. So please keep cheering for us and keep rooting for us. And if you love ENReco, keep cheering for it and keep supporting it. And I'll look forward to seeing you all next time. I have to run because I have a recording, so I actually really have to leave. But thank you all so much for all of your help, for all your contributions, for, again, just all the love. You guys truly mean so much to me. And thank you as well. I think during the stream, let me double check. I heard some fans saying so. I think we hit 995,000 subscribers. So we're only 5,000 away from our goal of 1 million. If you're not already, please do consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. You might think you're subscribed, but you might not be. So double check, hit that button, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to like the video too. And when I end, please do consider also leaving a comment. Really helps out the algorithm overall for me, so it'd be much appreciated. Especially, I can see there's lots of you here. If you haven't already, as you know, I have my original song that came out not too long ago, Blue World. I put so much effort into Blue World. It is a dream project because I got to work with the Persona composer Shoji Meguro. So if you like Persona music and you like me and you like really nice videos, then I would definitely give it a listen. Again, it's something I'm so proud to have made, and it's at 300k views. We also have been releasing wallpapers, high quality wallpapers from the music video whenever it reaches another 100k. So do please keep streaming it. I think that's all I have for you today. Finally, I've gone through my spiels. So thank you all so much. Thank you again for all your support. Be sure to give all the other girls lots of love, especially Shiori and Bijou and Liz and Laura and everybody who worked so hard in ENReco. And thank you. Oh, wait. I have one more thing to say. In the future, be careful. You don't need to worry about people metagaming, at least with me, because I just ignore it anyway. So don't feel like you have to get angry at metagamers because I am not watching. Just so you guys know, I'm even if I read it, I'm not going to use it. I'm not in roleplay. I'm not a metagamer. I don't want to meta. So even if you tell me Lady Bloodflame is currently in the volcano, I'm going to ignore that. So it does ruin chat for the... I mean, but to be honest, when I looked over, I felt like all I saw was don't spam messages, which then became the spam themselves. So in the future, if I notice it, then I will just turn it off. But when you also just spam back, don't spam, it just becomes double spam. So I know it can be annoying, especially if you're enjoying the chat itself, if that makes sense. But it is what it is. So ideally, just do your best to ignore it. They're going to spam. If you start spamming the spammers out, then I can't stop the spammers because I can't see them anymore. So generally, I do check for spammers. So if I notice the spammers, they'll get timed out. So don't spam over the spammers, or I can't stop the spammers for you because I can't see them. And I don't want to time out you guys because you're not spamming, so, or you're not meaning to spam. So just for future reference, be careful. Because your intentions are good, but it makes it a little harder for me to help you, apart from just turning off chat for everyone, or just turning it on members only. But just, again, when it's roleplay, you can dislike metagaming, and that's totally fine. But it's don't worry about it too much, because you're just worrying about something that is ruining your own enjoyment. Yeah, let the spammers get unspammed on their own. I will catch them. But seriously, by the time I caught it, because I saw, don't spam, don't spam, don't spam, don't spam. And so I'm watching the chat because I'm like, where's the spammer? Where's the spammer? I got to time out the spammer because literally everyone is saying don't spam. And I couldn't find the spammer because all I saw was don't spam. And I was like, where's the spammer? I'm actively playing. I can't go back to find the spammer now, but I don't see them anymore. I don't think they're spamming anymore. So just so you guys know, I know it's all good intentions and I appreciate it so much. I'm not meaning to bonk you guys at all. That's not my purpose, but I'm just letting you know, when you spam, don't spam. I can't stop the spammers. So just, but also don't blame, overall communities, that was one thing that did disappoint me, seeing people blame specifically Rosarians or other communities for it. Please don't do that. You can be ignored at spammers, but like publicly tweeting or commenting on other talents' videos is wholly inappropriate. And honestly, like, let's be honest, it happens on all sides. Imagine if someone said that about jailbirds as a whole. I'm sure people would be really upset. So don't assume it's a whole community, because chances are it isn't, and I don't think you guys would want people saying that about you. So please watch and be careful about doing that in the future. I would appreciate, because that is one thing that this time that I saw that did really disappoint me. Do not blame other fandoms as a whole from within hololive, because again, it's happening everywhere. It's happening from all sides, and I don't think you guys would want someone saying that about you. So again, you're definitely happy. You are way more than welcome to say, gosh, I hate spammers. I hate when spammers do this. But saying these people specifically are spammers, please do not do that. Yes, we love everybody here. We all know that the overwhelming fandoms of all of the girls are so wonderful and fantastic. So again, just ignore it. Be respectful. Don't point fingers at people. It doesn't do anyone any good. But that's all. That was the last thing I wanted to say. So next time, I hope we could do a little better here too with that. Don't spam the chat telling the spammer to stop, so I can stop the spammer myself. And then, yes. But again, sorry, I don't mean to end on a negative note. I'm not trying to scold you guys, because again, I know the intentions are never bad, but I do think it's important to say. Because it's something that I noticed. And I think, again, it's important, because I don't want anyone to have this impression that jailbirds go and harass other people. And I don't think you guys have the intention to do that, but I think unintentionally, just like I don't think most Rosarians have the intention to spam people, when you guys do those sorts of actions, it will give people that impression of you guys as a community, and I don't want you to have that impression. So please, don't do those things. Yeah, before it gets out of hand in the future. But I trust you guys, so do your best and continue to be respectful to people. And if someone annoys you, just mute them. But thank you all so much again. Scold me more, Risa. Okay, wait a second. You want to be scolded? You want me to scold you? I'll try it sometime. I'll try it out, but yes, thank you all so much for coming. I had a great time. I hope you all did too. And I will see you all next time. So bye for now, darling.